Replayability is a funny old concept in video games. Hundreds of thousands of dollars might get invested into gameplay loops, encouraging microtransactions and purchasing DLC, but most of us keep playing for far less nefarious, way more innocent reasons. Anything from the feel of a game's mechanics, maybe the character design or art direction, or just to see certain moments or animations over and over again, all have made gamers what we are, wanting to find that last hidden collectible or explore every corner of the world laid out in front of us. A game world has to be inviting and rewarding and worth the time though. From gameplay to narrative, I'm Scott from WhatCulture.com, and these are the 10 most replayable video games of the 2000s. Now before we get started, I'm going to tell you guys about our sponsor for today's list. Now we're actually being sponsored by World of Tanks. Yes, that one! And they're going through their biggest remaster yet with the 1.0 update. There's all sorts of new graphics and effects, remastered sounds, and redesigned maps. In general, there's 160 million players all battling it out at once. It's a good free-to-play game, and it's not pay to win. You can play in short sessions inside random battles, or you can have a longer competitive game via the clan wars and ranked battles. Either way, at this point you've probably heard of World of Tanks, and because it's free to hop into, check the description below for some links to get stuck in and give it your best shot. Number 10, Hitman Blood Money. Until 2016's reboot raised the Hitman bar to stratospheric new heights, Blood Money was the franchise's magnum opus, giving you a fantastic array of memorable levels, each building in scope from the last as it allowed you to think of increasingly tactile and nefarious ways of offing your targets. There's a level of black comedy twinned with brilliantly experimental game mechanics that really makes Blood Money click. Replay it specifically for the ability to play around with the physics engine, planning the perfect assassination by tinkering with the NPC animations and patrols for the sheer "what's gonna happen if I do this" style of gameplay. Number 9, SpiderMan II. Treyarch's second movie tie-in was the first to take the wall crawler and put him in a free-roaming city. The only limit to your playtime was when you got sick of leaping off the Empire State Building and thwipping your way down Main Street. Never. Chuck in a bunch of pedestrian side missions involving everything from ferrying people to hospital who had life-threatening injuries to reprising Peter Parker's pizza delivery job, and you had a thoroughly enjoyable experience where just flinging Spidey through Central Park was an absolute blast. Replay it specifically for hitching a ride on a helicopter to visit the Statue of Liberty. Number 8, Super Mario Galaxy. Just one more star. Mario Galaxy is one of only a handful of games that not only made collectibles well-placed and a driving force of gameplay, but actually made them fun to seek out of your own accord. Often called the best 3D Mario of them all, Galaxy was another perfect entry into the franchise, replete with a neat miniature planet aesthetic, actually usable motion controls, system-selling graphics, and that oh-so-exquisite gameplay that only Nintendo can get right. Replay it specifically for the badass loaded shotgun-style boom when you catapult Mario from one planet to the next. Number 7, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Unleashed on a world waiting to devote entire lifetimes to its splendor after a career-defining first installment, many say Modern Warfare 2 is still the series' best. Although going back to a previous Call of Duty can sometimes feel like revisiting an old sports game, where all the quality of life improvements have actually changed gameplay more than you remember, Modern Warfare 2 is that kind of rare shooter that still has perfectly balanced combat online, alongside a killer story. Replay it specifically for the No Russian level, one of the most shocking and talked about scenes in gaming history. Number 6, Gears of War 2. One of the finest sequels ever made, Gears 2 had just the right amount of story and epic levels to play through, introducing some fatality-style mechanics that upped the level of gore and allowed you to lacerate fallen foes with weapons like the explosive arrow-firing torque bow. It marks a high point for the series that Gears of War 3 sits comfortably alongside. The revolutionary Horde mode remains one of the best multiplayer modes in gaming, something where you face increasingly hard waves of enemies, recouping your losses and scavenging for ammo in the seconds in between. Tackled with friends, this was a huge amount of fun, with the best levels too. Replay it specifically for an unmatched level of gunplay, level design, and fun, best exemplified by the comically violent altercations between your undermounted chainsaw gun and many an opponent's chest. Number 5, Guitar Hero / Rock Band. The fake instrument zeitgeist might have passed now, but it's still a toss-up as to which franchise was better overall. For this entry, I'm staying out of it, and you can argue it out in the comments below. For Guitar Hero, what it lacked in innovation across those first 3 games, it more than made up for with some incredible song choices. However, with Rock Band, the catalogue of tracks on offer was unmatched. Granted, you had to fork out some extra cash to obtain things like the Metallica pack, but it has to be said that the song selections on disc are still incredible, encouraging communal sing-alongs that Guitar Hero would never truly emulate, despite ripping the idea of multiple instruments off with Band Hero. Replay them specifically for the sheer unmatched fun of grabbing the guitar controller and wailing your way through something as iconic as Living on a Prayer. If you can grab a bunch of friends for an old school Rock Band session, it's still one of the most fun multiplayer gaming experiences known to all humans. Number 4, Halo 2. You can't really go far wrong picking any Halo from Bungie's output, but I'm going to go with 2 because it was the franchise's first foray into online gaming on consoles. Many of us had been packing friends into increasingly confined spaces for LAN parties and split-screen matches, but it was with Halo 2 that Halo's global takeover began, deploying you in some of the most memorable maps ever created. Blood Gulch, anyone? Halo 2 proved that the Xbox now had its very own Counter-Strike. And although we later found that putting a microphone to the voice of the world would reap almost universally bad things, those first few years were completely unmatched in their sense of being fully voiced, team spirit-fueled enjoyment. Replay it specifically for the impeccable Halo multiplayer experience, comprising a great mix of memorable weapons, game modes, and tactics that combine to produce one of the most euphoric online multiplayer experiences of all time. Number 3, Mario Kart Wii. You can say it was one of the most watered down and accessible to a fault of all Mario Karts, but for millions of us, this Wii installment was exactly what the family ordered. Nintendo invented and perfected the kart racing formula way back in 1992, and to be honest, sometimes all you need is an arcadey handling model, a handful of power-ups, and a good number of friends or relatives to battle it out against. Replay it specifically for snatching victory at the last second by deploying a friendship-ruining blue shell. Number 2, Grand Theft Auto 3. Playing by none other than their own rules, Rockstar's industry-changing masterpiece came fully formed, with a game world that positively reveled in experimentation. You'll scarcely find anyone who didn't have a perfect experience from their time in Liberty City, as the environment's layout itself gave off the insatiable urge to do everything. Reaching a 6-star wanted level across land and sea, seeking out every last slow-motion stunt ramp, finding hidden packages, and blazing an anarchic trail from Staunton to Shoreside Vale, GTA changed the face of gaming for a reason. Replay it specifically for the first time you hop in a car, turn on the radio station to something suitably characterful, and burn off down Chinatown to off some triads. You could feel the revolution with every second of GTA 3, and it remains eminently replayable because of it. Number 1, Burnout 3 Takedown. What do you get when you take one of the most eyeball-searingly fast franchises going and add in the ability to ram other opponents off the road? Absolutely beautiful carnage, that's what. Takedown changed Burnout 1 and 2's focus on just racing at high speeds, giving you a sense of invulnerability that was used to slam through traffic and crush rivals against the asphalt. Thanks to many hidden shortcuts and multiple heights within a given track, if you timed it right, you could barrel straight into the side of your opponent and use the resultant momentum to fly ahead of the pack, only to be taken out by someone who had been targeting you all along. That balance of opportunity, occasional fragility, and pure power though, there's nothing like it. Even Burnout Paradise kinda lost something by going open world. Replay it specifically for one of the most perfect racing game experiences, multiplayer or otherwise, ever put to code.
Hey guys, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Aren't you a star? Don't forget to subscribe below, and also the people who made this video, they're right here, so go and follow them and give them some love. If you want to see more content, there's probably some stuff flowing up above my head. Why not check it out? It could be fun. I'm not your dad.